It's the most wonderful time of the year. This always starts out with Christmas Kids and the whole holiday spirit when we do our Christmas Kids shows. And, of course, it's the first Christmas music I've heard so far this year. And what a better song than that one. The St. Anastasia Band, 64 strong. And Carol White, our fearless leader. And I wanted to mention, Carol, that the hats that you see, I guess those are like My Favorite Martian. Well, maybe I might be dating myself here. The reindeer kind of hats and the reindeer nose.
The reindeer antlers, I think so.
Reindeer antlers, yeah. And those were donated by the Virginia Avenue Seventh-day Adventist Church in association with the food bank and Lisa Forbes. So, Lisa, we certainly appreciate you for that. Kids do too. Match their outfits perfectly.
Hey, well, thank you. And certainly we thank Lawnwood Regional Medical Center for hosting the Christmas Kids. Again, it is tradition that we start off at Lawnwood. There's long history with Lawnwood Medical Center and with the auxiliary. I can cross over with the Christmas Kids, and we certainly appreciate that. So, Bob Krieger, the new CEO at Lawnwood Regional Medical Center.
Well, we're so happy to be able to continue with this tradition, and I've been here for 2 weeks. I'm coming from Osceola County. I've lived in the northern part of Florida most of my life, so this is new to me, and I'm really, really happy to be here. I will tell you that when I look at the memories of the holidays, I grew up with 4 boys in my family. Santa Claus was able to come down that chimney and put a tree up and line each one of the walls in the room with tons and tons of gifts. And I could never imagine how Santa had all the energy to do that in one night for one family. So having said that, also I think that when I look at all the songs that are out there that make us feel great for this time of year, one of my favorites is Burl Ives, and he has the one song, Have a Jolly Jolly.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one that used to start off my holidays and my family's holidays. So we have great, great memories. We're so happy to have you here. We're so happy to be part of this tradition. And I personally am happy to be at Lawnwood. So to each and every one of those folks out there, Merry, Merry holiday season, and everybody stay safe and drive safely during the holidays. Thank you very much.
And certainly welcome to the Christmas Kids.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we can pass the microphone on that. We always ask when we come to Lawnwood, what's new? And there's always something that is brand new and a big project. There's a new comprehensive stroke center designation.
Yes, ma'am.
What does that mean to the public?
So what does that mean is that Lawnwood can now receive patients with brain aneurysms or hemorrhagic or ischemic strokes. So we now have 3 neurointerventionists on staff that can go in and help those patients immediately. They can go through a transcatheter through the groin, go up in and suck the clot out of the person's brain and save all the brain cells, in layman's terms. So on average, when you're having a stroke, you lose about 2 million neurons per minute while you're having a stroke. So they like to say time is brain. So the faster a doctor can get in there and stop that bleed, the more brain that they're able to save for the patient. So before we opened this, the closest comprehensive stroke centers one was 60 miles to the north at Holmes and 60 miles to the south at St. Mary. So if a patient on the Treasure Coast was having a stroke and they were able to feel that they were stable enough to be able to be transferred to have their brain saved, that's what we would do. But now we have that here at Lawnwood, and we can help people immediately.
And it's important for family members and everyone in the community to know where that is. Yeah, I should have introduced you, Michael Brianne Presley.
Yes.
Of Lawnwood Regional Medical Center. And certainly, it makes a huge difference in the choices that people make. I mean, if you have a choice when you're talking to the EMTs and the ambulance.
Yeah, and actually we've been working with EMS, and I think actually some of them are looking at changing the protocols where now if you are going to have a stroke, you will be brought to Lawnwood versus going to other facilities, just because of the fact of that it's, time is brain, literally, when you're talking about it. If people say time is money, and in this way, time is brain matter. So we're trying to save as much brain as possible.
I've heard that expression before. Time is the brain. But to have how many neurons you lose? And
2 million neurons per minute when you're having a stroke. So literally minutes count.
That's well.
Yeah, okay. I think the average stroke takes about 30 years off of somebody. So yeah, the faster you can get in and do the intervention, the better off it is for the patients. And we've seen miraculous things happen. Seen it where I've literally watched myself where a patient was paralyzed on one side. They went in, and within 20 minutes got the blood clot out, and they were able to move their arms, talk, do everything all over again. It's very amazing work.
That is amazing.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you. And certainly Lawnwood, the Heart Center, the Trauma Center, and now Comprehensive Stroke Center.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Certainly. Anything else new at Lawnwood, Rhonda Wilburn, that we should know about?
Sure. We have our annual Santa's Workshop, which we invite the public in to come and get their photo with Santa
and have some cookies and hot chocolate. We'll have ornament making stations. That's Saturday, December 3rd, 9 to 12. It's right here in the cafe. We just ask people RSVP, 1-800-382-3522. Again, that's 1-800-382-3522, because we like to make sure that we have enough games and fun and activities for everyone who just shows up.
Okay, well, great. And Santa's workshop. Okay. We are getting to that time now. That's important, December 3rd. And interesting, that will be one of the first packing days when the Christmas kids are packing toys on December 3rd. So, a big day.
Mm-hmm. So then the parents just bring the kids out to RSVP, as you mentioned.
We would like to meet RSVP, but yes, you just bring your kids out. They'll be parking out front. We'll have trams available that day to get you to the front, so come to the front. You'll see Santa. We're taking photos, so those kids can ask what they want for Christmas. I mean, my daughter wants an Xbox 360 and a Disney movie.
Good. Did you think she wanted that little toy that everybody else wants?
$1.
Okay.
Now the gifts are getting expensive.
But they can come and tell Santa what they want, and of course, get a candy cane. And then they can decorate their own holiday cookie, and then we'll have several ornament making stations so they can take those back home with them.
Very nice. And Santa's Workshop, that's again Saturday, December 3rd from 9 a.m. to noon. And they can RSVP by calling 800-382-3522.
Yes, please.
Right.
Okay.
Alrighty. We've got a great band and a big band. I mean, we love the big band, but we like the small bands too. But we've got a very big band here under the direction of Steve Gavin. We're going to hear some more holiday cheer from St. Anastasia Band. St. Anastasia Band. That's fine.
Completely visualize the reindeer antlers.
And the lows. Holidays, bands,
principal of St. Anastasia School, with us, Dr. Kevin Hefner. And so there is a lot going on at St. Anastasia besides new band director. We have new playground.
Yes, new playground, enrollment's up, test scores are up. Life is good at St. Anastasia.
And you have something new going on with the, it's the National Evangelization Team. Tell me
Yes, we have 8 young college students that take a break for a year from college. And from 18 to 24, they're staying with our families throughout the church and school for the entire year. And they stay in the homes for 2 weeks at a time. And then they spend time with the students, they spend time with our parishioners, they get involved in sports, and they help us with our choir and all kinds of activities, and they help to evangelize the community. It seems to have taken off really, really well in the community.
we have something special going on next weekend.
Next weekend, we have our Christ the King Mass. For those of you who like an outdoor Mass, we're canceling all of our church times and having one big celebration out on the soccer field in the River Pavilion. You're welcome to come out. It's at 10 o'clock on next Sunday, and we'll have a procession that goes around the neighborhood, and there's usually over 1,000 people in attendance at this event. Great opportunity for four groups to come together all under one roof and celebrate Christ our King.
Now also, all of your classes during the year are involved in learning about charities and involved in them.
Well, we have about 5 charities that the school supports as a whole, and then each grade level adopts a charity. And then they learn a little bit about that particular charity, and then they give back throughout the course of the school year. So right now, we've got a Thanksgiving food drive that's supporting the local food bank, as well as some food that's going over to Haiti for Thanksgiving as well. So we're real proud of just the kids especially, but also our community of Fort Pierce and St. Anastasia.
Okay, well, thank you, and certainly a great band.
Great band, 64 kids, and we did a fantastic job on Veterans Day. It was a real tearjerker. We had so many veterans out celebrating with us. We treated them for breakfast, and we played some songs, and just raised our flag, and had Mass, and what a great celebration with our veterans just this past week.
And certainly thank you for everyone who has made it possible for the band to come. It's not only 65 students, but it's instruments, and it's music stands, and it's a little truck outside.
Oh yeah, maintenance, bus drivers, teachers, administration, everybody's on board.
Okay, well, thank you for being part. We'll hear from St. Anastasia's band a little more, but we have more people to thank you. We talked about the long tradition with Lawnwood Regional Medical Center and the auxiliary. We have Pat Dunn here from the auxiliary. Well, thank you certainly for, I think people may not realize the profits from the gift shop are given to several organizations in town. We do scholarships, we've supported the Christmas Kids and several, Council on Aging, several organizations, and give away a phenomenal amount of money every year.
That's what we do. All the money we earn in the gift shop goes to 8 different charities in St. Lucie County, and the Christmas Kids is on that list.
And we thank you, certainly year after year, the Lawnwood Auxiliary.
We thank the employees because they're our best customers, but the visitors come in too, and that's where we get all of our profits from.
Well, and thank you for sharing with all the organizations in town. And also, Beth Ryder is Director of Community Services here in St. Lucie County, and there's probably a fancier title than that, isn't there? But that's it. Thank you.
You want to give yourself a fancier title?
Thank you. Executive Director, I think. Yeah.
County Commissioner?
Yeah. But certainly, thank you, because I know this morning your staff at Community Services started signing up 1,000 children.
They are, and when I got there, I wasn't as early as they were, but the line was all the way around the outside, our office, and plus we had extra seating inside, so it was pretty neat. And I will tell you that as of 10:30, there were 41 families that had registered and 103 children. So, and we're only open from 8:30. So that really shows you the importance of this wonderful program and the wonderful job you do.
And we certainly thank community services because, I mean, we're good at doing this, you know, but in terms of at being, you know, publicity and letting people know about the Christmas kids and helping people, you know, donate the toys and everything. But you provide the social service side of this.
I was sitting here trying to remember, but it's at least 30 years because I've been with the county 30 years and participated ever since then. So I don't know how far back it went before that. I have to do some. Well, I know that Christmas kids did. Did we start way back 55 years ago? Wow. We've been doing it a long time, and it's each time we know as we do it, my staff, that the Christmas Kids provides more than just toys for children at Christmas. They're there for us when we need something for a child that just doesn't have any other source for. We know we can turn to you, call you and say, this is the problem, what do you think? And what do you think is always, yes, we can help. So we're just so happy.
Now, Beth, for that family that's listening right now that doesn't know how this process works, how does it all begin? How does someone get involved? To come down and to sign up, and what do they need to do?
Okay, thank you. Well, they need to bring proof of ID, Social Security cards for the whole family, any members of the family, something to show residency because it is for St. Lucie County residents, and proof of income. And if they've been here before to the office, then we have a lot of that, so it shouldn't take as long. But that's really basically it. You come to 437 North 7th Street in Fort Pierce. That's the corner of Avenue D and 7th Street. And the number, if you need to call, it's 462-1777.
Now, how long, once they give you that information, how long does it take before they're approved?
Immediately, unless there's something, some reason we need to do some further checking, almost immediately.
And just briefly, I want to acknowledge our chief fundraiser, the lady who makes the off-season, the Christmas kids. We send 100 children through the water safety program with the county, and Annie Crumble makes that possible with the golf tournaments and all the fundraising she does.
That's right. I think this is about our 16th, 17th year with the golf tournament, and Gator Trace will be hosting again this year, May 20th. And we are looking for teams. We're looking for sponsors. We're looking for door prizes. But it's usually a very successful golf tournament every year, and we just need to get our teams in as soon as possible.
That's what else the Christmas kids do, and that makes it possible for, again, it's 100 children to go through the water safety. It's a 6-week class where they learn really to get to the side, and if they fall in the water, how to baby proofing them.
They fall in the pool, they're taught how to get to the side of the pool, and so it's not necessarily swim lessons, but it's swim safety lessons.
Okay, yes. Thank you for being here. Now, we're back to
The St. Anastasia Band, and they've been very quiet and patient, and I'm sure Steve Gavin runs a tight ship here, so that's why they're very patient and ready to perform. And let's hear again, 64 strong, the St. Anastasia Band. go. Very nice indeed, under the direction of Steve Gavin, the St. Anastasia Band. And thank you for those great selections. Ever hungry John the Christmas. I just wanted to throw that in there because that was his favorite.
Oh, yeah, of course, yes. I always enjoy the audience that comes in. We're in the cafeteria at Lawnwood, and we have people that were visiting somebody in the hospital, came down for a little lunch, and there's something special there. I said, okay. So some smiling faces and audiences, so we appreciate that too. But certainly, thank you to St. Anastasia. Thank you to Lawnwood Regional Medical Center for hosting, again, this year, letting us kick off our Christmas Kids campaign.
And tomorrow we're live at Seacoast Bank, St. Lucie West Branch, and we've got the Village Green Elementary. Is that Mrs. Jones's crew? Oh, me and Mrs. Jones's crew will be here tomorrow, so we look forward to that as well.
Keep the Christmas kids in your heart, and we will see you again tomorrow.